What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to How to Play at a High Level. Today we're going to be doing Dust 2, and if you haven't seen, last night Dust 2 was just added into the competitive map pool, which is why I'll be going over it for you guys today. Before I get into the video, if you guys want to use the map that I'm using, it is refrag.gg. I'll leave 10 free codes down below, and if you use code POLO, you get 15% off. Now, first off on Dust 2, let's talk about positions. Now, generally on A, you're going to have an A anchor, you're going to have an opper, you're going to have an A rotator, you're going to have a mid to B player, and a B player. Now, when we talk about T side, we're generally going to have a long player, an opper, a guy who usually floats between either supporting long, supporting mid, or supporting B, and you're going to have two B defaulters. Now, one of those B defaulters is going to be in charge of holding upper, the other one is going to be in charge of taking lower, and this upper guy will generally come over here sometimes if the lower player wants to go in, help him take lower, and then come back to worry about upper. Same thing kind of goes with the long player. If his team wants to take mid, he'll go ahead and leave long open. He'll be aware that he left a gap in long, help his team with mid, and then make sure that he's aware that they can be pushed. Now, it's important to know why you're going to take long and when you're going to take long. So you're going to take long at the beginning of the round because what you're trying to do when you take long is beat out the T's race to try and get long control. The T's are generally only going to go long if they have good spawns. They might do late pops, but generally it's going to be if they get good spawns. So what you want to do as CTs is if you are going to take long, you want to do it immediately. And because no competitive matches have been had on this map in CS2, I think it's worth creating some new lineups for you guys just so you can see what to do. Now, the first lineup I have is you come up here into this little corner, you aim in this smudge, and you aim along this bar at the top. Yes, this is a new lineup crosshair thing that they have added. I don't really know if I like it yet, but that's besides the point. You're going to aim in this area, go ahead and jump throw, and what this will do is it will bounce off of right here and pop in long doors. And what this will look like from the CT's perspective is all of doors is smoked off, and from the T's perspective, I mean, this looks horrible to go through. And after this guy smokes long doors, he can come over here and throw a couple flashes. You aim right here at the top, the plus, and then you crouch and aim down here at this little area. Go ahead and jump throw. And the reason why you want to throw this flash is because you're the support player for long. You want to have your actual long player come over here, molly off this wall so that that molly will go into blue box, which is the only place the T's can hide when they take long. So these flashes will basically get the guy coming out of blue box. That's why this flash pops over here. No, it won't blind anyone in the doors, but that's not who you're trying to blind. Now, after you take long control, you want to make a decision. Do you leave the opper to op corner? Do you leave a rifler in pit? And if you leave your opper on corner, what the rifler is then going to have to do is he's going to have to kind of play around this opper. And here's why. On other maps, I've talked about when you're kind of holding a site as two players, you have to decide what you want to fight if you're getting split. You can't fight both sides of the split at once, because if you do, percentage-wise, you will lose that. You are fighting a 2v4, 2v5 potentially. So what you want to do is you only want to fight one side and take a shortened 2v2 to try and come out on top of that fight. Now you can live, and now instead of coming out of a 2v4 or a 2v5 with 1 or 2 kills, you can actually come out on top with potentially 2 kills and map control and keep your life. Now, with that concept in mind, if the T's try and come up towards Cat, this rifler shouldn't stay and fight and try and hold the split like I was talking about before. He should actually just focus on one part of the split and come over towards his opper on long. What he can do after he does this is he can come over here, he can come into pit, maybe his opper can shift over here because this would be a better fight for him. And now they have long control. So the T's have gotten up Cat, awesome, but they can't play post plants from anywhere towards long. This essentially forces the T's to just hold on towards Cat control, and if you're going to have rotates coming from B, either they can rotate from CT and keep Cat smoked or mollied, or they can rotate through mid and try and flank them. Now, the same concept applies if you leave the rifler in pit. The opper will play somewhere over towards Game Helper. In NA, we call this area Game Helper. I don't know why, don't ask me. But the opper will play something like this. If the T's come up, he takes a shot, he falls back, he plays a deeper angle, he falls back, plays a deeper angle, and now he falls all the way towards long where his teammate is. And boom, same concept. The opper had 3 potential chances to get a kill, but the concept still stays true. Now, what your Cat setup will look like is you'll have an opper over here posted on this angle, and you'll have a rifler somewhere along this wall playing anti-flash. So basically, if the T's come over and they throw a normal flash like they always do, like this, and this flash pops over the wall, full blinds the opper. This rifler won't be blind. He can turn, get kills. Once this opper gets unblind, he can just peek back and support his teammate. And this is how you'll chain together a good Cat hold. Now, there's a couple variations of this setup. You can have the rifler tuck here and play anti-flash. You could have a rifler play here and have the opper play a little deeper in this area. But most Cat setups consist of someone playing anti-flash and someone holding the angle. The person holding the angle is generally going to be the opper. Now we can move on to the A support player. This is the guy who's going to be smoking along, flashing, all this good stuff. What this guy will do after you get one of those 2 controls is he'll rotate over towards mid. Now, his role is generally to stay in this area over towards A. And the reason why is because if the enemy ends up hitting towards A, he needs to be quick on the rotate to ensure that he holds onto CT and puts some pressure on the T's executing. Once the A player rotates over, this mid to B player can help towards B. And again, same to the concept I was talking about on fighting for cat or fighting for long, this guy will basically decide what the B player is doing. So the B player shouldn't play into B site if the mid to B player is also playing out of B site. He should be playing retake either from doors or from window or somewhere where he can get away if the T's do an execute. Because again, if the T's do an execute, you have 4 or 5 players coming out of tunnels, you have 1 player on site, chances are you're not going to be able to hold that. So once this mid to B player rotates over, this gives the okay to the B player to play into site, which means the mid to B player can play somewhere over towards car, the actual B player can play somewhere towards like window or back site, and now if the T's come B, you'll have a decent hold. Now let's say the T's pressured towards long or pressured towards cat, they're trying to take some control. This will prompt the mid to B player to come over and pick up mid to B. This will prompt the A rotator to rotate back towards A because that's where the pressure is. And now the B player is kind of stuck on an island, so it's up to him to decide. Do I want to smoke off tons and maybe reposition, go somewhere that's better? Or do I want to double up with my teammate? So if the T's trying to split mid to B, I can help him fight. We can play retake on B and we can just hold the mid split. Again, the concept I was talking about earlier, you fight one side of the split. Now with all the nitty gritty of the positions out of the way, I want to go into the T side of how to actually play this map. So on T side, it really comes down to if you have long spawns. I watched so many pro matches when I was competing to try and figure out what the tell was for when T's wanted to go to long. And pretty much it was just whenever any pro team gets long spawns, they go long. And this is most likely because if you have the long spawns, long will always be the highest percentage of you winning the round. 1, because it's random if you get the spawn, so the CTs can't really predict it. 2, if you have the long spawns, you'll be out of long before the CTs can get there. And 3, it's extremely easy to flash the CTs. They essentially have no cover. If you have teammates spamming flashes over here, the CTs can't really fight this. They'll have to fall back. And if you have one final flash from your teammate that pops deep over pit, this will blind anyone in this area, so you can run out scaling with flashes, get that last flash, and kill anyone towards long. So at its core, there's a lot more places for you to hide in long than the CTs, and if you have a better spawn, you'll be there before they get there, so everything is going in your favor. Now, if you want to smoke long, you can come over here on this little railing. You can aim on the left side, bottom left side of the smudge, and just jump throw. This is probably one of the fastest popping long smokes you can throw, and it pops almost perfectly. Now you can pair that smoke with these perfect flashes for long. You come over to this corner, you aim below the palm tree, and you just go ahead and jump throw, and I'll throw it as a nade so you see where it pops. But basically, from the CT's perspective, this will be owning them. There's no real way to dodge this. And the only way for the CTs to dodge this flash is if they throw their own smoke to connect with your corner smoke and run back turned, get into pit, and then switch after the flashes stop going off. Now, once you get long control, you can also throw this smoke. I don't really have a specific place to stand for it. This is why I like it, because it's a pretty free lineup. As you come over to this corner, you just make sure you're aligned with this corner and this little area right here. And you just want to shift jump throw once you cross over that corner. And this smoke will pop in the middle of the cross, giving you a perfect one smoke cross smoke. Before I go any further, I need you guys to check out today's sponsor. The sponsor for today's video is SkinPlace, the best site for converting your skins into cold hard cash. It literally takes seconds to set up your account and get to trading. Just log into Steam, plug in your trade URL, select from the wide variety of payment methods they have, and just sell. It's that easy. Once you've converted a certain amount of skins to cash, you can get bonus rewards that scale up with how much you've sold, offering a way for you to earn more for your skins. As you can see, I sold 3 skins to SkinPlace, and within 10 seconds of completing the trade, I saw that money pop up in my crypto wallet. Make sure to use my referral code POLOCS for a 3% bonus on your first trade, and get to converting in just minutes. Now, the way you take mid, I don't think is really going to change too much. You can just smoke off mid doors the same way you smoke Xbox by just coming over here, aiming at this area. And because smokes are dynamic now, this will just puff straight up and block off the entire doors, doing effectively the same thing an Xbox smoke would. You can still smoke Xbox, though, and a pretty useful piece of util you can do for it is you come over towards mid. You don't really have to line up on anything, just go against the back wall. When you see this little smudge, just run through until you're about to hit this wall. And the smoke will just pop right there on Xbox. The reason I don't really like Xbox smokes when you can just smoke doors is because this just allows a way for your teammates in lower to possibly get singled out, which is a small thing, but it's worth mentioning. Now, after you get a smoke down that allows you to take cat, you can go ahead and molly off deep cat by aiming a little bit above the bottom of this area right here. And once you cross this line, just go ahead and jump throw. It'll bounce off of this window, pop a little deep on cat, and it will block off any angles that could potentially be peeking you. Once you're working cat, your teammates lower should be working it at the same time, so they should be coming up and getting this flash ready for you. You just come against this wall, you aim right here, and you just jump throw on this corner. And just like that, that's a pretty easy way to take cat, pretty standard, not a ton of util. And off of cat control is how you're going to win the round. Here's why. So you remember how I was talking about the A rotate comes over to pick up mid if you start pressuring towards A. So if you start pressuring towards cat, this rotator should come back, and now the mid to B guy is going to be the one who's playing on mid. If you take cat control and make it look like an execute, this mid rotator now has to decide, do I want to go support my A players and have a stronger hold on the A site, or do I want to stay towards B and potentially catch a mid lurk when my B player could actually just rotate off of B, pick up my mid, and I could just rotate? This mid to B player is the player that you're trying to bully. And the reason why is because if he rotates off, what you can do is you can just smoke mid to B, and now there's only one player holding this whole area of the map. Now what this will look like is, let's say you go ahead and throw a cat smoke. Let's say you just throw something like this, like the old one. Maybe throw a couple flashes, like so. This player will start to rotate. You probably want to get a molly down on site as well, just to make sure it looks like you're actually going there. And then you don't even have to smoke CT, honestly. You can just come out and try and kill this guy while he's rotating towards A. He'll be coming over here, worried about trying to help the cat split. Make sure you have one guy over here faking for noise, and you can just shoot him in the back. And once you kill him, you can focus over towards the B guy. There's only one B, and then boom, you win the round. Now, if you want to actually commit towards cat, I can show you some good util for that. So what you're going to do is you're going to come into this corner with the boxes, crouch, and find this dot. Go ahead and jump through that. After you throw that, find this dot, find the line, aim at the top of the line. Come out into the open. Once you're pressed against this box, you want to throw the molly, throw the flash, and what this is going to do is the molly will burn onto site and onto the ramp. And what that flash will do is, because the molly pushes the CT back, this flash will actually just own anyone who gets forced back by this molly, giving your team a easier way to get onto A site. Doesn't have to worry about the ramp, doesn't even have to worry about this long angle because this flash will own it. I'll just go ahead and show the util I was throwing earlier. The deep CT smoke as you come over to this corner in the little garage area. Aim right here at the top where the blue and the white pieces connect. Go ahead and throw that. And from the same exact position, you can throw that game helper smoke that I was showing. You just aim on the smudge, run jump throw once you're about to hit the wall, and this will just pop perfectly on game helper, giving your team an easier way to come up towards cat. And paired with those flashes and the mollies that I was showing before, this will be a very, very good way of taking the A site. Now the smoke for mid B, you guys are going to really enjoy. You're going to come over to this door on cat. You're going to aim at this dot right here, this little peg on the door, and just jump through. And you only need one smoke to smoke mid to B now. It covers the top and it covers the bottom. Now in CSGO, the T's had to smoke up top and smoke down low. And the reason why is because CTs could come over here and pick them off while they're going towards mid B. But now the T's have all free reign on this ramp area. They don't have to worry about spawn off of just one smoke. This is huge. Now, as far as defaulting towards B goes, remember this upper guy I was talking about. He's going to be helping his lower guy while his lower guy is taking lower. And just being the one who's aware of upper B. You don't necessarily have to hold it, but you have to be aware of the gaps that you're leaving open. One way that you can pressure B is you can come over here, aim right here. And this is just a normal lurk smoke. Now, after this lurk smoke, you can come over into this corner, aim right here, and what this molly will do is it will flush out both this cubby and this cubby. So this will force the CT to either fall back on this angle or have to swing you in tunnel. This is a very easy way. If you have an opera over towards B, you can throw this util and he can just post up. This could be a very easy free kill for him. Now the next thing I want to show is just B execute util. So I'll go ahead and show you a cool little door smoke combo. If you come over to the right side of this pillar, the same pillar that you were throwing the molly and the smoke combo from, you want to aim above this corner, maybe a little bit to the left, and just make sure it goes through the window. Go ahead and throw that and aim at this dot right here above tunnel entrance. Go ahead and jump through that flash. That flash will get anyone on site, and the smoke will get all of doors. And I'll show you that flash from a few perspectives. This is what it looks like from big box. Boom. Backside it will get as well. It'll get anyone on car because it pops right here, and it will get default on site, anywhere really on site holding tunnel. Now flashes you can throw with this is you want to throw them into this corner just so it won't blind your teammate, but it will blind all of the CTs. The flash will pop around this area, and again, it will blind the CTs, it will blind anyone window, it will blind anyone site, will blind anyone big box, and it won't blind you. Now you generally only really want to hit B if you have a read that the CTs are going to take forward towards long or play on middle control, or you're just trying to abuse when there's only one player towards B. The time where you want to go mid is if you're playing with the rotates and you think there is only one or maybe two holding the mid to B split and they have a slow rotate. When you want to go cat is when you think that A site is weak and you think that they're playing towards long, so you can get a plant down. Let's say you have a lurk in tunnel who can late lurk, maybe kill the people who are trying to flank you. And when you're going to go long is when you have the spawns and when you think the CTs are playing on cat so that long is free and you have enough util to stop their retake. I've been talking for long enough. Thank you guys for watching. I do have bronchitis right now, so these videos are kind of hard for me to pump out. That's why I haven't done anything this week. But I appreciate you guys watching all the way through. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you guys later in the next video.